Some souls are born with a quiet knowing, a kind of wisdom that has nothing to do with age, education, or experience. They carry an invisible weight, not of sorrow, but of centuries. Their hearts seem to beat in a rhythm older than their years. Their eyes have seen more than this lifetime should allow. If you are one of them, you already know it. You feel it in the way the world's noise overwhelms you, in the way your heart aches for things you've never actually lived through. You are an old soul in a modern world. For most people, life is a race, deadlines, trends, screens lighting up every second. But for you, it's something else entirely. You move slower, not because you are lazy, but because you notice. You notice how sunlight filters through a curtain on a sleepy afternoon. You notice the way a stranger's smile can feel like a small miracle. You notice the heaviness in someone's voice even when they say they're fine. This is your gift, you see what most miss. And yet, this gift often feels like a burden, because the world around you rarely stops long enough to see with you. Ever since you were a child, you felt different. While other kids wanted to play loud games or chase the newest toys, you found yourself fascinated by old books, by stories your grandparents told, by the silence of a starry night. You would sit quietly, observing, while others rushed forward without thought. People mistook it for shyness, but in truth, you were simply listening, not just to voices, but to life itself. You didn't know then that this was the first sign, the beginning of the path that would reveal you as an old soul. An old soul doesn't measure time in minutes or hours. You measure it in moments, the kind that cannot be bought, posted, or replayed. You think often about the past, not because you want to live there, but because you respect it. You treasure handwritten letters more than text messages. You value a deep conversation over 100 small talks. And when you love with the kind of depth that scares people in this age of fleeting connections. Your love is not a candle, it is a fireplace, steady and warm, burning through the coldest nights. But in this modern world, depth is often mistaken for intensity, and intensity can scare people away. You have felt that sting, the way others step back when they realize your heart is not for casual use. You've been told you're too much, or too deep, or too sensitive. And yet, you cannot be otherwise. You were not made for shallow waters. Your spirit longs for oceans, for storms, for horizons so far they fade into dreams. You are not built for temporary, you are built for timeless. You often feel like you were born in the wrong era. Music today doesn't move you the way a soft vinyl melody from decades past does. You long for letters instead of emails, walks instead of rides, touch instead of emojis. You watch the world trade meaning for convenience, depth for speed, and you ache, not out of superiority, but because you see what is being lost. And perhaps, deep down, you are trying to hold on to it for as long as you can, as if your soul is a guardian of something fragile and rare. Still, being an old soul is not just about longing for the past. It's about carrying a certain timelessness within you, a light that no technology can replicate. You are the friend people come to when they are tired of pretending. You are the listener who doesn't just hear words but feels the silence between them. You are the stranger who offers a kindness no one expected. You are the one who knows that some wounds are invisible and that healing is not a race. And yet, for all your wisdom, you are no stranger to loneliness. The modern world moves at a pace that often leaves you standing still. Friendships fade when people can't understand why you won't just keep up. Relationships break when others realize you are not looking for excitement but for meaning. You've learned that your heart doesn't belong everywhere, and that's both a blessing and a quiet ache. You belong to moments, to places, and to people who are rare, and rarity is never common. Still, you wouldn't trade your old soul for anything. Because it allows you to feel life not just in bright colors but in shades and textures. You see beauty where others see nothing. You find lessons in heartache, poetry in rain, and music in silence. You understand that life is not just about existing but about truly living, even if the world calls you strange for it. And so you walk through this modern world with a certain grace, carrying centuries in your heart, searching not for recognition but for connection. You may be misunderstood, but you are also unforgettable. And perhaps, that is your quiet magic, to remain timeless in a world obsessed with the temporary. But here's the truth the modern world doesn't tell you: being different is not a flaw, it's a quiet form of strength. In a time when people rush to be noticed, you remain still, choosing depth over display. And while that stillness sometimes feels like isolation, it is also what gives you clarity. You can stand in the middle of chaos and still hear your own thoughts. You can see through the noise and find the truth hidden beneath. This is a rare ability, and it will guide you more than you realize. Old souls often carry invisible maps, not of streets or countries, but of the human heart. You have an instinct for where someone's wounds lie, even if they've hidden them well. You know when someone's smile doesn't match their eyes. You can feel when someone is saying, "I'm fine," but is really asking, "Will you stay?" And you stay, not because you are naive, but because you know that real connection is the only thing worth staying for. Still, there are days when the modern world tests you. Days when the noise is so loud you start to doubt yourself. You wonder if maybe you should change, become faster, lighter, less intense, more like everyone else. You try it, perhaps. You go to the parties, you make small talk, you scroll endlessly. And yet, each time you do, there is a quiet emptiness that returns like a shadow. You realize you were not made to dilute yourself just to fit in. You are not meant to edit your soul to match a world that's afraid of depth. Old souls know that time is not infinite. That's why you are careful about who and what you give your energy to. You understand that some people come only to pass the time, while others come to change your life. And you have learned, sometimes painfully, to let go of the first kind so you can make space for the second. It's never easy. You feel every goodbye like a small funeral, but you also know that holding on to the wrong people keeps you from meeting the right ones. In the quiet hours, when the world has gone to sleep, you often find yourself lost in thought. You think about the people you've met, the lessons you've learned, the moments that have shaped you. You think about the strange way life works, how the most beautiful connections often come when you least expect them, how the hardest losses teach you the deepest truths. And in those moments, you feel something most people never do: gratitude, even for the pain. Because you know it has carved you into someone stronger, softer, and more real. The modern world doesn't reward stillness. It doesn't applaud the quiet thinkers or the ones who see beyond the surface. But you don't need applause, you need truth. And when you find it, whether in a conversation, in nature, or even in your own thoughts, it fills you in a way no amount of likes or followers ever could. You live for that feeling. That's what makes you different, and what makes you whole. You are not against progress. You are not rejecting technology or change. You simply refuse to lose the essence of what makes life worth living. You believe in slow mornings and honest laughter, in handwritten notes and shared silences. You believe that love should be something you grow into, not something you swipe into. And you believe that no matter how fast the world spins, the things that matter most are the ones that cannot be rushed. And perhaps that's the greatest sign of all, that even in this modern age, you hold on to a timeless truth: we are here to feel. To love deeply, to lose and learn, to stand in the rain, to watch the sunset without photographing it, to hold someone's hand without needing to post it online. You live in a way that reminds others, even if just for a moment, that life is more than a performance. It is a sacred, fleeting miracle. So yes, you are an old soul in a modern world. And while that means you will often walk a lonelier road, it also means you will see beauty others miss. You will find meaning where others see none. You will love in ways that outlast the years. And one day, someone, maybe just one person, will meet you and recognize the same timelessness in themselves. They will not be afraid of your depth. They will not tell you to be less. They will look at you and see not the centuries you carry, but the light you've kept alive through them all. And in that moment, you will know, every lonely night, every misunderstood silence, every ache in your chest was worth it. Because you were never here to fit in. You were here to remind the world how to feel.